Hello. Um, so I thought I'd do an opinion piece today, just because I've had an extra week in between my chemo sessions, and obviously I've found out that I'm in full complete remission, um, which is obviously really good. I think that like it kind of dawns on you the more the days go on, like how mental that is. I went into my diagnosis meeting feeling like the healthiest that I've ever been. I was training for a half marathon, running for the MS Society. Um, and so I was like, I got myself up to running 12K 2 or 3 times a week. And I've never been sporty, I've never been a runner. I've enjoyed going to the gym later on in life, but like I'd started to like really get into, I was just loving running because I could do it. And so yeah, I went into it because more or less because when I was running, the lumps were aching on my neck, and that's what sort of started off the sort of worry. But yeah, so I went into my diagnosis feeling fine, and I went into this one, my review for my PET scan 2 months later after doing 4 infusions of chemotherapy, also feeling fine. It's just this time I didn't have stage 3 cancer anymore, and the time before I did. So it's absolutely mad how like I didn't have any symptoms. But yeah, it dawns on you like as time goes on, like how good it is, that I've no longer got sort of active cancer in me. But today's opinion piece is going to be about food, and the reason why is because before, like, well, even up until a couple of weeks ago, really, my nothing had really changed in terms of my food, and what that I was eating, and that I was fancying and that I was craving. I'd heard loads of stories about how like chemotherapy changes your taste buds. It can make you have metallic-y taste. It can basically just like, yeah, change your alter your like desire for food completely. And a lot of people struggle because they haven't got the desire to eat and they lose loads of weight. A lot of people struggle because they do have a desire to eat and they put on loads of weight, and the steroids, obviously the dexamethasone they don't help. But sorry, I've just realised I've spilled a lot of water, don't me? But yeah. For me, things have started to change a little bit. I hadn't had any issues with food. And before I started chemotherapy, last year I was doing a keto diet. So I was doing a no carb or very low carb, high fat, high protein diet. Mostly fat though. But vegetarian option, the vegetarian version. So I wasn't eating loads of unhealthy red meat. I was eating a lot of dairy. And I lost about 2.5 stone. Which is like, I was the biggest, after lockdown, I was the biggest I'd been, or during lockdown, I was the biggest I'd been in years. And so I decided to do the keto diet, and it worked. Both me and Will did it, and Will's like significantly smaller than me. Or he was at least. And he lost about 1.5 to 2 stone, and I lost 2.5 stone. And we were really like chuffed at that. We were really accomplished. But it is, but then we came off keto, and then so I'd been doing that diet, and then we decided that we were going to go vegan, and we're now vegan. Oh, I can't say that I'm vegan now because since chemo it's all sort of gone tits up. But we were doing a vegan whole foods diet, and whilst I'm still adhering, I mean, I'm the cook naturally. Will is now be learning to cook more because he has got a vitamin B12 deficiency, or that he thinks he has. We're trying to investigate that now. And so the whole foods diet is like really beneficial for everything. Vegan whole foods diet. Like, if I'm going to tell anybody to do any diet or any lifestyle choice, it isn't a diet, because the whole foods sort of way of going is just the most nutritional thing, most like sustainable diet that you can have, because you can basically eat everything, vegetable wise and fruit wise, and nuts and seeds and all of that stuff. It's just the best. However, we were doing really well. As you see from my videos, I was making like seedy breakfasts. My food was basically revolving around green vegetables, and and I love vegetables. Like I thankfully love healthy food. Will hates green veg, and so going on to the whole foods diet, the vegan one, having to bring in cruciferous vegetables like the kale and broccoli and cauliflower, that is like worst nightmare, whereas they're like my absolute dream. It's been difficult for him, but now he's like into it, and like it's so tasty, like beans, loads of like lentils. It's like the dream diet for me, and now him as well. But long story short, when, as you all know, I went into that weird third chemotherapy round, my bowel stopped working. I wasn't able to sleep or eat for numerous days. Went into hospital for 6 days. I didn't eat in total for 9 days. However, the last meal I had was Will's homemade granola, whole foods, like loads of seeds and nuts and that fruit, and basically the thought, even just like listing all of those things, the thought of those things actually makes me want to vomit now. Like I literally can't think about it. Like I have to, like I shout at my mother and Will whenever they talk about it. Like I can't stomach the thought of those foods, because that's the last meal I ate. Peanut butter. There's a brand of peanut butter that isn't the one we usually have, thankfully, but there's a brand of peanut butter that we got given for free. And the look, I can't even look at the label without like wanting to spew. Like it's that bad. And I don't know whether it's because I had that horrible experience, or because the chemotherapy has like done that, altered my brain as well. But when I was in hospital, all I could think about is eating all the stuff that, you used to eat as a child, like alphabeti spaghetti and like smiley faces and like turkey dinosaurs, even though I'm vegetarian, vegan. And like, that's all I want. And it's still all I want. Like, it's all I want to eat. All I want to eat is like crap. All of a sudden, like I've never, even before, like for years, like I've loved, like, and I love a takeaway every now and again, but I've always like had that thing inside me where I want to eat healthy, and I still like in theory want to, but my body just craves like chips and pizza and like McDonald's and like all of that stuff. I have no idea what's happened to my brain, but like it's very strange, and like the thought of eating healthy food is fine, but like the cravings I'm getting, like I'm always hungry. Like if I have breakfast at 8 o'clock when I wake up, I'll take all my meds and stuff for the chemo, I'll have my breakfast at 8 o'clock, and then by 10 o'clock I'm wanting something else. Like I'm wanting more food, like a significant amount of food, and then 2 hours later I'll want food again, and then like and again and again. And I thought initially it was because of the steroids, but like you only take steroids for 3 days after the chemo, and I've been like this now. This is because I've had an extra week. It's like I'm 2 days away from my next chemo, and that would mean 3 weeks. And I'm still wanting to eat everything under the sun. Like I'm using this opportunity, as when Will's away for a couple of days, to have takeaways, because I'm thinking I can get them out of my system. And then on Monday I'll start eating healthy again. Like my brain has like completely changed. Also, interestingly, when I was in hospital and I hadn't eaten for 9 days, the first breakfast, so the first thing I had when I woke up on the day, the first full day that I could eat, the kitchen wasn't working because there was something wrong in the hospital, and so they could only do like cold food. So I had a bowl of bran flakes. Now I haven't had bran flakes in years, like literally years, probably like 10 years. So I had a bowl of bran flakes. Now I cannot get enough bran flakes. Like literally, chuck them all in my body. I'll have as many bran flakes as you can give me. I could even have them 3 times 3 bowls a day, full to the brim. At the moment, I'm on bran flakes, or like raisin bran. But like, I mean, I don't know what's going on. Like, somebody I was speaking to on Instagram, you know, was saying the very similar thing. The cravings are insane. But I'm just like worried, you know, that I'm not going to get out of this phase of wanting to eat junk food. Like crisps and dips, like there was one point where I could go, I had to go to the shop like numerous times because I would running out of crisps. I was eating like a big sharing pack a day to myself. I wasn't allowed like to give Will any, or Will wasn't allowed to take any. It's just very odd. And my taste buds aren't changing. Like, I'm not experiencing metallic-y taste in my mouth like lots of people are, thankfully. Like, drinks like water are still the same, thankfully. But like, I'm like really, really concerned that I'm not going to be like the one that I'm going to put on about 20 million stone, which interestingly I haven't. I feel like I have, like, because obviously I'm not toned now and my stomach is like, you know, a bit podgy, and I know muscle weighs more than fat, and so it means that like when I'm going to the hospital for my chemo, they weigh you, or any time you go to the hospital they weigh you for appointments and things. I was the same weight this time when I went the day before yesterday as I was like 2 weeks before or 3 weeks before, and that surprised me because I feel humongous, but all my clothes are still like fitting me. But because my beard is like going as well, it's going to be gone after the next chemo, I think. It's making the shape of my face look different. And so I was convinced I put on loads of weight, but I hadn't. But I feel like, you know, podgy. But yeah, it's just very, very strange. Like, I've got no control over like the food that I'm eating. And I just wanted to make this video, because I want anyone that's like going through chemo to know that it's okay to eat whatever the hell you like. Like, you know, it's common to put on loads of weight during chemo. If you do, then, you know, don't panic. Apparently, like, you know, the cravings end. I'm hoping the cravings end at some point. And yeah, you know, there's always enjoy yourself, eat what you can, and you know, actually eat. If you're getting the cravings and you want more food, obviously try and eat healthy. But like, you know, eating anything is better than nothing, because, you know, the chemo takes it out of you so much, that, you know, if you ever get to that point where you can't eat, either because of mouth sores or just because you haven't got an appetite, then just like eat whatever it is, like whatever you can. But yeah, I mean, it is very odd for me to, like, you know, not want to eat certain things and want to, like, even then in my brain I thought about that breakfast and I literally nearly gagged. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say, really. I haven't been doing a day in the life of, so I just wanted to sort of reach out and still connect with everyone and just say that, yeah, food is odd. And if you've noticed, if in the future you notice that my videos are not vegan and they're not as healthy as they normally look, it's because my brain is like convincing me to eat other things, and not the things I should be eating. But yeah, I hope you're all well, and yeah, my 5th chemo infusion is in 2 days, so I'll start the day in the life obs again then. But yeah, hope you're all well, and thank you for keeping updated.